And I do like Mondays. I do love Mondays. I love Mondays, too, especially after a Warriors weekend in which we heard from Jordan Poole, the former Warrior, and new Warrior Chris Paul. Chris Paul, yes, it's real, folks. It's officially official. He's wearing the number 3 of the Golden State Warriors uniform. He was sitting next to Steph yesterday at Summer League at the Thomas & Mack Center. GP2 was there, Gary Payton II, and, of course, Jonathan Kuminga with the shades indoors. I'm not mad at JK for doing that. Live your life, young man. You're in Vegas.
Did you like the Steph little bucket hat?
Oh, I love the bucket hat. Steph looks like such a G. Come on. Steph was out there chilling. You had Steve Kerr over there. You had Kirk Lacob running material to Chris Paul and his wife. So what did you think? Before we get into the sound here, 888-957-9570. Also, Dario Saric. Dario Saric is a member of the Golden State Warriors, and I'm with it. I'm with it. All of a sudden, let's play ball, man. Top 10 with this roster, the rotation. Saric, Chris Paul, JK with the second unit. Sign me up.
As a veteran off the bench, I think he's going to be significantly more impactful than what we got from JaMychal Green last year.
Not even close.
I think the fit is there. He's a very skilled, balanced, just a good player. He can rebound a little. He can knock down shots. He can facilitate. Really, he gives you a lot of, and I'm not saying he's the same player, but he gives you a lot of the Nicholas Batum kind of skill set from a big, but I think he's more physical than Nicholas Batum.
No, he's a lot more physical.
I like him.
I love the deal. It's a one-year deal. He gets to prove it and maybe get more money elsewhere after the season, but he's 6'10", 6'9", 6'10". He's not the rim protector. He's not going to be the rebounder that you think he is. I mean, especially after the ACL injury, he's kind of lost some of that athleticism. But look, man, over the course of his career, 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2 assists. But I think the assist numbers are a little diluted, or it's a little misleading because he does pass the ball well. He makes the right basketball plays. So Dario Saric is a new member to Golden State Warriors. Chris Paul spoke about him. He was a big fan of his from his Phoenix days when they invested in the NBA Finals. So I do like this fit with Dario Saric. All of a sudden, everything's coming together for the Golden State Warriors. And then you get Jonathan Kuminga, who I think will see a lot of minutes. But Chris Paul spoke yesterday. What was your initial thoughts on Chris Paul media yesterday in the Prada jeans shirt? Chris Paul working out with Steph Curry, sitting next to Steph Curry. He's officially a member of the Golden State Warriors. It's wild.
It is pretty wild, and it is interesting to see them all sitting together playing nice. I'm here for it. I'm here for the Chris Paul experience. I think it's going to be...
you warmed up to it?
Well, I think it's going to be a mixed bag. I think we're going to critique every little interaction that he has with teammates, coach, media, which we'll get to in a second. And look, right now is the honeymoon phase, so I expect them all to get along, or at least pretend to all get along. But there's a lot of personalities, and I think that we're going to be monitoring this the entire way.
All right. Before we get to the money quote about coming off the bench, here's what he had to say about fitting in with the Golden State Warriors.
Before we move on, he's a lot smaller. When you see them all walk, like Curry's not the biggest guy. I know people are like, he's 6'3". I don't know. I'm not here to be Mr. Height guy. I'm shorter than everyone. But, CP3 he's small.
Hey, he's about 6'1". He's small.
Yeah.
Maybe even smaller. I've seen him in the locker room. He's short.
Yeah.
He's short. But he doesn't play short.
No.
He plays big. And he's played straight into the Hall of Fame. Here's what Chris Paul said about fitting.
Absolutely factual, yes.
Here's what he said about fitting in with the Golden State Warriors.
Not to sound crazy or whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's basketball. It's not brain surgery. And I'm going into a situation with a bunch of guys who done played together for a long time. And I don't know. I guess it's me or whatnot, but I'm not as worried about it as probably everybody else is, or anybody. When I say everybody, not necessarily our team, but we gonna figure it out.
Is there a style of play in your career that you can remember is at least somewhat similar to the way they played, with kind of all the flowing movement, all that?
I don't know. I've never played with, all these different types of players. You know what I mean? So that's the situation. That's what happens. I don't think there's any team in the league that's the same. When I got to Phoenix, I'd never played with a player like Devin Booker, right? JJ Redick was a lot different, in the way he shot coming off screen. Steph has the ability to create his own shot. Clay dropped, I forgot how many points with a few dribbles. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Draymond, the way that he can create shots for other players. So, like I said, luckily it's basketball, and I know a little bit about the game.
I know a little bit about the game. It's just basketball at the end of the day. And I think he will fit in. He'll slow down that second unit alongside Sarge. He'll run that pick and roll. You have Jonathan Kuminga slashing. You have Moody in one corner. May have Klay Thompson in the other corner. I really like the prospects of how the second unit's looking. I really do.
I don't have any problems with him saying it's not brain science surgery, it's basketball, and I totally agree with him. Like, I think we do overrate. Like, when you're that sophisticated of a basketball mind, I do think that we overrate, like, oh, what's it going to look like and feel? And are there going to be some redundancies? Sure. Are there going to be some times when he can't play ideally or maximized out with certain lineups? Yeah, that's basketball. Like, you have to find the right matchups and fits, and sometimes guys just don't fit on the court for whatever reason. But the fact that he's realizing and being like super chill about everything, I love that on the front end.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is he going to do? He has to play nice.
Well, not only that, but we do it was when Kevin Durant signed with the Golden State Warriors, and people were like, "There's only one basketball. There's only one basketball." Got to remember who you're playing with here. Steph Curry, one of the most unselfish superstars we've ever seen. Draymond Green, say what we want about him. He's a willing passer, sometimes too much, sometimes more willing than other times. We want him to shoot a little bit, but Draymond Green is a willing passer. Now, Clay's going to get his shots up. Andrew Wiggins will defer at times, but he's going to play off the ball. Chris Paul's right. It's just basketball at the end of the day. He will figure it out. The great ones do. So I'm not worried about, are they going to play fast, play slow? Chris Paul will figure it out. He'll fit in, but if he does run that second unit, they're going to be dynamic. It's going to be much, much better than it was a season ago. At least people will know their roles, and he'll get people in the right spots.
You bring up the second unit. Well, are you sure he's going to be on the second unit?
Well, here's what he had to say about coming off the bench.
You'd be coming off the bench, playing with the second unit that's a lot younger than the Warriors of the past have been, of J.K. and Moses. Just what do you think of their depth, their bench players that you might be playing alongside?
You coaching?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what the situation is going to be yet. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be for us to figure out once we get going.
You've never come off the bench in your entire career. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Like I said, it'll be a conversation for us when camp starts or whatnot. But me and Steve have talked or whatnot. But that ain't something that you'd be like, "What up, man? Where you starting? You coming up?" You know what I mean? So I think we'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
We'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
You worried at all?
Nah, it is what it is.
I mean, that answer at the beginning, can you just isolate the first question about, from Kendra?
You'd be coming off the bench, playing with the second unit that's a lot younger than the Warriors of the past have been, of J.K. and Moses. Just what do you think of their depth, their bench players that you might be playing alongside?
You coaching?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You coaching?
I text Kendra. I text Kendra, said, show up to Halloween with the culture shirt and the whistle and the clipboard. It could be Vinny Del Negro or Doc Rivers. That'll really flip Chris Paul. You got a little snipey. Chris Paul, you better be tactful. We also, Dubas asked a question. He goes, Dubas asked him something about evolving, the evolvement or the relationship evolving with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Stephen Curry. And Chris Paul looked at him and goes, what do you mean by that? So you got to be tactful when you ask. I'm taking notes here. Warriors post-game live, when we get Chris Paul, I was like, you better be direct with Chris Paul. Just got to look for any little loophole to question you back.
You coaching?
Can we? Okay. And I know I've probably sounded more skeptical than most because I told you I'm coming around on it. But, we have to acknowledge this man has a massive ego.
No, there's no doubt. You can't be that great without an ego.
No doubt. I'm not knocking him. He's not gonna. We all have egos. Some smaller,
he has
bigger than others. He's gonna be a content machine.
There's no doubt.
His mannerisms, how he looks at teammates, whether he's high-fiving, chastising, how he deals with the media, how he handles his coaches, how he's coaching the other guys. I kind of can't wait for this. This is going to be a content bonanza.
Listen, we have egos here at the radio station. You don't think I have an ego, Shatsky has an ego, Steiny has an ego.
You ever been pulled over by a
has an
cop?
ego.
Yeah. They all have egos.
We all have egos.
Everyone
Chris
has
Paul
one.
has an ego. So this whole bench thing, again, I'm to the point where I don't really care about the whole start and bench. That's been overplayed. It's been overplayed.
You don't care, but I'm not going to let you finish. Do you think he cares?
He may.
Did that sound like a guy Did that sound like a
I don't
guy
know.
who was ready to concede going to the bench?
I don't know. 888-957-9570.
Or I guess not starting, because I don't want to say going to the bench because that makes it sound like you're not going to play.
Is this a big deal to everybody out there? Whether or not Chris Paul comes off the bench, is that a deciding factor? Is
Well,
it?
I don't think it's a big deal for me. I'm questioning whether it's a big deal for him.
Yeah, I'll play the quote over. Here you go,
It
Chris
sounded
Paul.
like it mattered to him.
You'd be coming off the bench playing with the second unit that's a lot younger than the Warriors of the past have been with J.K. and Moses. Just what do you think of their depth, their bench players that you might be playing alongside?
You coaching?
No?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what the situation is going to be yet. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be for us to figure out once we get going.
You've never come off the bench in your entire career. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Like I said, it'll be a conversation for us when camp starts or whatnot. But me and Steve have talked or whatnot. But that ain't something that you be like, "What up, man? Where you starting? You coming up?" You know what I mean? So I think we'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
Baddeley Kinney, Nebraska's finest. Mercury News with the great follow-up right there. Tag team at Kindred and Madeline. That's some teamwork right there. I wish we got more of that in the Giants pressers with Farhan Zaidi. Man, Warriors speed ain't no joke.
All right, don't turn this into the Giants thing right now.
No.
Let's stay on this one.
No, I'm just
Did that
saying.
sound- let me just ask
Giants media members, we can take some notes from that, Sam Lubden.
It's irrelevant what I or you think. What do you think CP3 thinks when he hears all that?
I just want to put out that I'm pretty sure I'm asking the toughest questions in these scrums. So back to what you guys were saying.
Talk about egos. Talk about
I ain't
egos.
got
Our
an
own
ego.
producer.
You coaching?
What is this ego you talk about, Bonte? That word is not even in my vocabulary. Back to you guys.
Joe Spadoni said it on our group thread, and I want to ask you the question. Are you getting Russell Westbrook in LA vibes?
Not yet. No.
I wouldn't say defiance.
No, I don't.
But clearly, I don't know if he's come to grips with where he's at.
Well, maybe he just doesn't want to tip his hand. And he's trying to just soften the blow to like, hey, guys, it's not really a big deal.
Well, it would have been a lot easier if he just said,
No.
I'll do whatever the coach needs to win a championship.
That's not
Or,
how he
I'll
rolls.
do whatever the team needs to win a championship.
That's not how he rolls. So it does sound like, and look, I've heard conflicting reports. I've talked to many people inside and outside the Warriors organization. Some people say, well, yeah, Chris Paul's going to start. Some people say they don't know. Some people say he should come off the bench. Now, part of the sentiment is it fair to Kevon Looney to come off the bench? Now you're going super small. But, man, he did a great job of dodging the question and not giving you an answer.
Wait, so now you're saying he's going to start?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying what I'm told.
Okay, so what do you think?
Okay, so what do I think? I have
based
no
off
idea.
What you've been told,
I don't know.
you're hearing more that he's starting or that he's not?
I've heard that he's going to start. I've heard he's going to come off the bench, and I've heard that people just don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. And quite honestly, I don't care anymore.
But what if
I don't
he
care
cares?
anymore.
But what if he cares and
If
it
he
affects
cares,
his...
then he's going to start.
What?
He's going to start because
Yes.
Steve Kerr will massage that ego, and
sure
he knows
feels
that
like
Looney will take the. Looney will be the team player. He'll be the professional and do whatever it takes to help win basketball games.
After
Now, is that
seeing-
fair? No.
After seeing Popovich's contract, I'm sure Bonte's like, I'd like to coach.
Oh, no, I would not want to coach. That is a boy. These NBA players, I am good.